Game 1 of 2 for the Barclays Center, the Atlantic 10 semifinals. St. Louis against VCU. Hey, everybody, I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Bob Wenzel. He won an A-10 tournament championship when he was at Rutgers. We're going to be joined in just a little bit by Evan Washburn. You saw he's getting ready to go. Give me an idea of what you're going to see today.
You're going to see the leading assist guy in the country in Yuri Collins for St. Louis. And on the other side, Ace Baldwin is an unbelievable leader for VCU. Havoc all over the floor. Pressure, 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 like Billy Joel said.
Absolutely. You talked about Ace Baldwin. He not only is the player of the year, he's also the defender of the year. He's got a very athletic lineup. Mike Rhodes said keep an eye on Brandon Johns. He feels like he's playing really well. And don't forget about Javonte Perkins. He was a preseason A-10 player of the year before he tore his ACL last year. Starting lineup brought to you by Kubota. Let's check in with Evan Washburn.
Well, Tom, despite 25 wins, VCU is not a darling to the at-large bid metrics, so they find themselves in a position where they most likely have to win this tournament to get into the dance. That frustrates head coach Mike Rhodes. He told us, look, eye test should show you we are deserving of being in the field, but guys, they've also built an edge from it. They've embraced the opportunity and the reality they have to win out most likely.
Mike Rhodes, Evan said, every day is a special day with this team. Travis Ford, he feels pretty good about this squad too. Former point guard. He's got a good point guard as well. All right, here we go. Tommy Morrissey is at center court. Deloach and Okoro, two big dudes. They think like they're going to arm wrestle to get it going. Here we go. First of two. The A-10 semifinal is underway, and St. Louis controls the tip.
Yuri Collins with the ball has 314 assists.
Wow.
That's this year, not his career. This year, nobody else in the country is close.
Well, here's Perkins, low post, left side, tough shot, got it to go. I thought maybe he was hit, but he let it go.
He usually faces up, a little unusual for him to have his back to the basket.
He comes into this game with nearly 1,200 points in his career. They feel like he's getting healthier and healthier as the season has moved on. Little ball movement from VCU. They do like that high-low with Johns, and he usually won't pass it out once he gets it.
No, Deloach is a guy who feeds people.
All right, Bob, let's take a look at the keys to today's ball game.
Well, pressure is the name of the game. Jimerson's scoring is very, very important. He is an outstanding player, played great yesterday. And, of course, VCU's got to force turnovers. They're going to double-team trap, jump into passing lanes. And also, Tom, we're going to see action on the glass.
Absolutely.
These guys play above the rim.
Shot clock is under 10. 2-0 SLU to start this game off. Perkins for three. Got it to go. That's a good sign.
Oh, no doubt about it. That is extremely unusual for somebody to be open against VCU.
54th three-pointer for him this season. He has that knee injury that he came back from. He's battling an ankle injury all season too. Here's Nunn. Enters to Deloach. Backing his way in. Okoro's a good defender. Back to Nunn. Shot clock under 10. Ball tipped out of bounds. It remains VCU basketball. Look how wide
now
he is.
Yeah, I mean, that is extremely unusual. They got mixed up on that one. They're going to probably have to double team Yuri Collins and make him give the ball up further out on the floor rather than close to the basket. Johns is the power guy, and he charges. Deloach is the thin guy. He plays out front. So that's their post combination. Johns is a transfer from Michigan, very powerful. When you lower your shoulder, you're going to get that call against you, no doubt about it.
Yeah, those are two seasoned guys. Two big-time transfers for each program, Johns and Pickett.
Yeah, Pickett has been great from Missouri for St. Louis. He gives them some strength close to the basket that they need. They were great on offense yesterday, Tom, and so far so good right here. No double teams so far. Everybody sticking to their own man.
Perkins, another three. This one too strong, but the rebound by Collins. Jimerson, don't leave him open. That's a good reset.
This is a mismatch here. 6'10 on 5'10.
Speed on length, and the length wins the battle. Well, Deloach, he has his hand in everything. He had 4 blocks in that quarterfinal game. Ball tipped away, picked up by Nunn. Somehow he kept his pivot foot. 5-0. St. Louis on top. VCU's turned it over a couple times. Here's Nunn, covered by Collins. Shot clock at 5.
We got some speed out here.
Yeah, Baldwin. Pull-up jumper. It's good.
POY, Player of the Year. DPOY, Defensive Player of the Year.
Here's Pickett. Nice look, and doesn't get the roll. Perkins had him wide open, too.
They got numbers here.
Yeah, Baldwin trying to bring the offense up. Step back jumper. 15-footer is good. All right, so it's Perkins 5, Baldwin 4 in the early going of this game. Under 17 to play, first half. Pickett, right side of the lane. VCU wanted to travel. Instead, they might get a turnover. Yep, they do.
That's VCU. Dive on the floor. Kern going up. On the miss, VCU pushes. And on the retreat, Baldwin sees blue jerseys backing up, and he knocks it in. This young man on the free throw line, I love him. I saw him in practice the other day. I said, man, you look great. You jump. He said, 43.5.
Oh, he knows.
That's his vertical. He can fly up and down the floor.
63% for the free throw line and makes the first one. He's a St. Louis kid. He won 3 state titles in Missouri as Shriver checks in for VCU.
Shriver's the best shooter on VCU's team. There was a stretch of games, 6 or 7 games, Tom, and you know this. He shot 65% from three-point range in those 6 games.
You know what that got him? That got him his own night at the Siegel Center where they gave out mustaches in his honor.
His hair's getting so long in the back, you can hardly see his name on the back of his jersey.
Here's Collins to the free throw line. Okoro posting up, knocked away by Johns. Here's Curry.
Throw it up!
Jackson. Oh, he tried an alley-oop, and it just didn't lead him properly.
This is VCU basketball.
Yes.
These last couple of possessions, up and down the floor, step in front by Johns, throw it back to him, miss, no problem on the miss, get back, steal the ball. Mike Rhodes was a great player when he was in college. He came out in practice yesterday, you know, when at the end of practice you take a shot from half court. He took a shot right in from half court.
He was a scorer. It usually went to him and never came out. Won a national championship in Lebanon Valley as Jackson's called for the traveling violation. All right, a lot of action. 5-5 game. Just try to get the personality underway. Time to take a look at our Reese's player profile. It's Yuri Collins. He's amazing. 10.1 assists per game, leads the college basketball and has led the entire year. And he's got a sort of mindset that Evan Washburn's going to introduce us to.
Yeah, Tom, I'd call it the quarterback mindset because, like any great quarterback, he knows how to diagnose a defense. And he told me yesterday he uses the first 4 minutes of a game, and he mentioned the under-16 timeout as a period where he looks at what's happening defensively, surveys it, then goes into that huddle that they just came out of and lets his teammates know, hey, this is what they're doing. This is how they're defending me and us, and this is how we should attack it. Now, early on, fellas, I'd say VCU's doing a decent job. He's got 2 turnovers, and that was a big part of the previous meeting.
He's a brilliant guy, no doubt about that. He sees things before they happen on the floor.
Yeah, talking to Travis Ford about him, I said, did you think he would be this generational a player? And he said, I knew it when he was a sophomore in high school. I fell in love with him.
Yeah, love it, love it.
There's another turnover for St. Louis. Deb Jackson running the floors. Boy, I'll tell you what, it was almost blocked by Hargrove, but he tipped it right into the basket.
Johns has got his, now Johns is a center. He has got his hands, whoop, nice shot. Johns has got his hand 3 times on the ball already and poked it away. 3 times in the first 4 minutes of a game. By your center.
Yeah, he's active. Baldwin gets Yuri Collins moving every which way, and he's got 6 points.
That's his right hand.
He switched hands.
He's a lefty. He's juiced up for this game.
He had a broken wrist earlier this year, and he wasn't supposed to come back, but he decided, convincing Mike Rhodes to come back a little early.
Watch this. He's a left-handed player. The guy jumps to that side. Yuri knows he's left-handed. Those are the 2 best guards in the league right there on one another. And then they just trapped on the sideline. When you trap on the sideline happens to be like a third player because you can't throw the ball in that direction, right? So they frequently trap on the sideline.
Already 5 turnovers for the Billikens as the ball goes out of bounds. It's last touched by Forrester for St. Louis. Forrester, the transfer from Indiana.
He is an important player, very physical post. He and Okoro share that position beautifully, 20 minutes each.
Jackson gets it outside for Watkins, and the 3 is good. Watkins assuming a different role midway through the year, coming off the bench, connects for VCU.
He's playing the best basketball of his life right now.
And another turnover forced by VCU. Here comes Watkins snaking up the floor. High step into the basket. Count the bucket. A blocking foul is called on Hargrove.
This is VCU basketball at its best. These guys run the floor. Forrester tries to take the charge, but he's not quick enough for these guys. How about this? Beautiful play, makes a 3, then drives one to the basket. Played well against Davidson the other night.
11.6 rebounds.
Yeah, and blocked a couple of shots, 3 shots.
Well, he'll go to the line here, 71%. Halfway through the season, Mike Rhodes and the coaching staff decided to not start Watkins because they wanted him to sit back and watch the first 5 minutes and calm down a little bit.
Look at this.
Another turnover. Here comes Deloach. Look out! Oh, he was able to get a little fancy with the layup. He wanted to bring the house down on that, though.
He did.
It's a 9-0 run, Bob.
St. Louis got their hand on the ball. They couldn't do it. Look at the pressure on the ball. Watch the hands of the defense. Watch the hands. Loach just turned his ankle. See those hands? Look at the hands.
Here's Parker. Goes inside, and Forrester's able to finish off the glass.
They get a layup, man, but they had to work for it big time.
Yeah, that was the thought. VCU likes to be physical. Shriver for 3. Got it to go.
Uh-oh. That means trouble for St. Louis. He likes to be the trailer. The other speedy guys down the floor. He trails and hits 3s.
To the corner, Hargrove for 3, and the answer in and out. It rimmed around. A little danger zone here in the first half. That wasn't a great pass. As Deloach drops it out of bounds.
That comes with the territory, Tom. They're going to have a few of those. Shriver's the trailer, and he's deep. That's from Flatbush Avenue.
There's that stash that we talked about. They gave out mustaches at the Siegel Center, and everybody's walking around.
Were you? Did you have one?
I didn't. It didn't match the hair or what was left of my hair, so I didn't know if it would be.
Well, I think you got to have hair, so you would have yours on your lip instead of your head.
It is growing other places. Yes. See those possessions, 7 turnovers.
And this is a St. Louis team that's played them twice. They know that this is the type of thing they're going to face, and you can't do anything about it.
3-pointer from up top, no good. Hard off the back of the iron. And the rebound is taken out by VCU and Nunn. He's trying to get to the basket. Nunn, tough shot. Okoro blocks it away, and he may have hurt his ankle. Here's Parker. He's not in danger, so they won't call timeout just yet. Now they will. Yeah, sometimes it comes down to common sense, but if he's away from the play, they will sometimes allow the play to continue.
And Lamar Simpson, the official, did a good job with that right there. He walked over to him, make sure it wasn't, snapped or anything. But this is not good news right here.
There he is, number 5.
Yeah, watch as he comes down.
Oh.
Comes down on the leg of Nunn, and it turns. Forrester's in. He's going to have to play extended minutes here.
Okay, Collins comes back in as well. He had just taken a break. 9-point lead. Hughes for 3. Banks it home. I don't know if he called it. It doesn't matter, though. Larry Hughes Jr., his dad was such a prolific scorer at St. Louis and turned out to be a heck of an NBA player.
No doubt.
6-point lead for the Rams. Baldwin covered by Collins. There will be a lot of switches. Baldwin, quick first step, fadeaway jumper. Boy, he is smooth today.
Yeah, he's really, and you say that today because he's not always that way. And he can be a herky-jerky offensive player, but boy, he is focused in.
He scored for 5 from the floor today. He has 8 points. Collins has not scored as of yet. He has 2 assists. He's assessing. Shot clock is down to 6. Johns knocks it away. His hands are everywhere. 4th
time he's poked the ball away. They should have a stat for pokes.
I'm sure that the Rams do. Johns is fouled going up. 21-13. VCU is on top work by being done on the Brooklyn Bridge, which opened in 1883. St. Louis has some work to do, and earlier, Evan Washburn caught up with Travis Ford.
Well, Coach, I know turnovers were top of mind for this game. 8 early in this one. How do you clean that area up?
Don't turn it over.
What goes into not turning it over?
Being strong with the ball. A lot of them are just reaching them out of our hands. They're just slapping it out of our hands. Just be strong with the basketball. You know what they're going to do, so it's not, not hard to figure out. But just be stronger with the ball.
Coach, thanks.
Well, obviously he's very angry about that, and there are 7 steals. Johns, the center on the free throw line, has 4 of them in the game. That is highly unusual for that position on any team.
And for Travis Ford, it's probably equally difficult to accept because he was such a good point guard as a player.
Remember a couple of years ago when St. Louis was a very good team, but they were a poor free throw shooting team?
Yes.
Travis had, when he was playing in college, I think it was 91%.
Yes, he was an excellent free throw shooter.
So
I remember asking him about that. He said, "Listen, we practice it." He goes, "We just got to recruit better players to shoot free throws."
That's right.
Well, right now VCU's got a 10-point lead. It's the largest one of this first half as we head toward the halfway point of this first half.
The activity of feet and hands. Look at when you pick the ball up, they're all over you. And you're going to get some of these.
Yeah, shot clock was at 4 as Parker dove to the hoop. And again, a lot of times it's skill for VCU, but the game is being officiated to allow them to be physical as well, and that goes into it.
No doubt about it. I have not seen too many plays where the physicality needed to be called so far.
There's a 3 that's good. Splashed out for Jayden Nunn. 26-13.
Arizona transfer. He has a lot of talent.
Ball knocked away. Pickett dives to the hoop, gets it outside for a 3, in and out, and Shriver with his 2nd rebound.
Nunn running to the right corner, Kern running to the left corner. Johns down the middle. Shriver the trailer. That's their organization in the semi-break.
Nunn with a little hesitation. They get it to Johns. He'll face up, take the shot a lot, and he splashes it home. Little 10-footer.
I am telling you, they are focused in because St. Louis is a pretty good defensive team, and it doesn't look like it right now.
Pickett's 3 is good, so that's a good answer right there.
You're going to get open some because of their double teams. And you're going to get some layups because they gamble a lot. But it's a cumulative effect when you play VCU.
The ball was tipped, so it wasn't a backcourt violation. VCU, Bob, has had 7 different players with a field goal so far in this first half.
Wow. St. Louis, Tom, to his own.
Yep.
They did this yesterday as well.
Oh, right over top of the zone, his 2nd 3. Kid's a great story. VCU picked him up from Hartford. Went to Division II Alderson at one point, and now he's called for the foul as Pickett gets to the basket. All right, let's take a look at the VCU Rams profile. Yeah, 25 wins, that's impressive. Net ranking is 61. The quad 1 record, just not that many opportunities, and the strength of schedule.
Mike's argument about their team being considered, he says, look, I'll play a bunch of those Power 5, if you want to call them that. I don't like that term particularly, but I'll play anybody. The problem is nobody is going to play him.
Right.
You know, the only thing that he can do is try to get into these multi-team events and play some more highly rated teams on neutral court somewhere, because they're not coming to the Siegel Center, and they're not allowing him to come to their gym. I guarantee you that.
No, because they're not going to let the Peppas ring in their ears, the bands, for days afterwards. 31-19 the score. No look pass to Nunn. Goes to Deloach.
Not a big threat here.
Deloach turnaround hook shot is good over Forrester. I think he knew he was going to shoot it.
He did. No double team. He's a young player. He's going to be a great one for them.
Perkins along the baseline. Double team on him. Pickett jab steps the three. Yuri Collins still scoreless. He's only taken one shot. Shot clock is at 7. Perkins way up top. It's good. Perkins standing tall.
And that was deep. They're going to have to do that. They're going to have to shoot threes freely, even when they're deep, because they're not going to get much going to the basket.
Well, he has 8 points.
The big problem for St. Louis offensively is Jimerson has not been involved in the offense much.
Yeah, he's got that 1 3-pointer. That's it.
Yeah, and he needs to be.
Like Rhodes just said, spread out, boys. Shot clock at 5. Watkins is fouled on the floor. 7:32 to play here in the first half. VCU seems to be in control. 33-22. VCU is on top of St. Louis. Moments ago, Evan Washburn talked up with Mike Rhodes.
Well, Coach, 80% from the field to start this game. What's led to the efficiency on that end?
Playing downhill and sharing the ball and not panicking when the shot clock got down. It's helped us, but we got each other's shots. That's what we got to keep doing.
What do you like about your defense?
Well, I like the pressure on the ball, but we lost a couple shooters. Even though they banked one in and hit a 30-footer, we still got to find these guys. Make shots off the dribble.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
I think they've done a good job of not letting Yuri Collins get downhill, as he said, but that's what Evan's talking about. 13 of 16 from the floor.
Yeah, and you know, offensively, the last couple of minutes, both teams have been great. They're 9 of 13 combined from three-point range in this game. I think St. Louis is going to have to rely on their outside shooting, which is very good for them, because they are really they're not getting it by passing it or dribbling it into the paint right now.
All right, Ace Baldwin will trigger the inbound off that foul before the timeout. Back to man for St. Louis.
Travis Ford used a zone very effectively in yesterday's game, and he has used it several times during the course of the year. Look at this matchup between these two.
Yeah, shot clock is under 5. Kern kept his pivot foot, doesn't get the bounce off the rim. And Forrester with the rebound. Pickett. He's running the point. Collins is off in the corner. Forrester hands it off to Jimerson. He has the 1 bucket so far, but that's it.
Boy, they're bothering him.
Yeah. Forrester in the paint. Fader is good. That was pretty good for him. He got physical and he got some space.
Yeah, and he got physical before the ball came to him. That was the key. You can't get physical once you have it, because then it's going to be a foul. You know, those back-end plays.
That's already 6 assists for Yuri Collins. It is remarkable, his nose to pass the ball.
He's just... Problem for St. Louis is Okoro got hurt.
Yes, and he's been brought back to the locker room.
And we don't know yet what his status is. Forrester cannot play the entire time. So they're going to have to go with Cisse, a little-used 6'10 guy.
Here's Forrester, jumper no good off the back of the iron. VCU with the basketball. What do you got, Evan Washburn?
Well, Tom, you mentioned it. Okoro is still in the locker room. He's receiving treatment. He's going to try and give it a go, guys. He's going to come back out here and see if he has mobility. Again, it's that right ankle where he suffered the injury.
Jimerson for 3. It's good. That's his 2nd bucket. All right, life for St. Louis within 2 possessions.
There's no way VCU could be as good offensively for the entire 40 minutes as they've been for the first 10 or 15. So the experience of a guy like Jimerson and Yuri Collins, Perkins, Pickett, they're all guys who have been around 4 and 5 years. Watkins
for 3, and the answer too strong. Rebound. Forrester had it stolen away. Nick Kern got his hand on it.
That's part of that 43-inch vertical right there.
That's right. Watkins again. Again, it's off the mark. Big possession now for St. Louis here in the first half. Down 6 on a little bit of a run.
Be smart, boys.
Forrester calling for it.
No double.
Eyes wide. Bouncing his way in, throwing it up and drawing the contacts.
You know, interestingly, why would you double team a guy inside? Well, one, if he's a really good player. But two, even if he's a middle kind of player like Forrester, you go in there and try to make him turn the ball over. It's not like you're trying to double team him to get him to miss. Forrester has gotten better as he's gotten more comfortable with this group of guys that he's playing with this year. As you mentioned, he came from Indiana and Temple.
First free throw. No good. Make sure to tune in to the 2023 Reese's College All-Star Game presented by Walmart on March 31st, live at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on CBS Sports Network.
Have fun.
Little prelude to the Final
there.
Four,
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it. It was great last year in New Orleans.
Final Four in Houston this year. Of course, the University of Houston might be a home game for them.
Second free throw for Forrester. And that one just rolled around. His technique looked okay.
It's very good. Nice spin on the ball. Yo-yo back and forth between man and zone by St. Louis has slowed things down to their favor in the last 3 or 4 minutes of the game.
Could you only do that with a veteran team defensively?
That's when it's the best.
Yep. Here's Pickett running the floor, laying it in.
They're back in it. You know, they're the 4 seed, but 3 teams were 12 and 6. So you could say they were the 2nd seed, you know.
Well, it's a 10-0 run that's brought them back within 4. 4:20 to play here in the first half. Johns against Forrester. Shot clock is under 10. Baldwin open for 3. He got it.
Great teamwork.
Kind of what Mike Rhodes was saying. They're finding each other.
They are playing so well together, and so is St. Louis. This is a good game, man.
Baldwin, by the way, had 37 against St. Louis last time. He was 12 of 15 from the floor. I don't know if that's being recognized because he's 5 of 6 today. Pickett, 17-footer, grazes the front of the rim. They're going to get Forrester for that one. 36-29, 3:44 to play. All right, Fred, thank you very much. All right, so Jerry Palm's bracketology, last 4 in. Rutgers, Bob, right there at the edge.
Yep.
And the first 4 out.
2 Mountain West teams are in the last 4 in, Utah State and Nevada, so the Mountain West Conference has been very, very good the last 2 years. Vanderbilt beats Kentucky yesterday, and of course North Carolina, the big story, the fact that they may not be playing in the NCAA tournament after going to the final game last year.
I saw Jerry Stackhouse, his team, earlier this year against VCU. And they had a little trouble against VCU, but they're surging right now.
Yeah, VCU beat them, beat Pitt, beat a bunch of teams. They beat Drake. All of those teams are in the NCAA tournament. First time they go full court zone pressure, 2-2-1 variety.
You like it?
Yeah, I do like it. Gives them a little bit. When you use it that way, the team takes more time to bring it up the court, so your half-court defense should be improved.
So Johns was left alone. Cisse is in as the big man because of the injury to Okoro, and I think there's a lack of communication there.
Yeah, and he's a novice player, and Johns is going to take advantage of him.
Yeah, they love his energy. They love his feel for the game, but obviously he's still a work in progress. Pickett has it blocked away, and he tips it to Perkins.
Johns, 5th time he's got his hand on the ball.
Very active. Pickett, fadeaway jumper. It's good. Over the top of Johns that time.
Yeah. Pickett's a key guy here, especially since Jimerson is not active and not getting as many involved shots as he has normally. Pickett's the guy who can create his own shot.
Pickett, of course, transferred from Missouri. He averaged 11 points per game last year, 13 points and 2 rebounds in the quarterfinal game.
Yeah, he's a good player.
And a foul is called. I don't know if it was with Watkins or Johns, but the foul is going to go against Cisse. Mohamedou Cisse, 6'10" from Senegal.
Coming out of that timeout, St. Louis was shooting 55% from the field for the game, and they were down 7. Yikes.
Amazing. Well, it's because of shots like that with Schreiber, who has been perfect shooting the basketball off the bench for VCU. VCU continues to light it up too, 16 of 23.
Yep.
Pickett for 3, off the side of the rim, and an easy rebound for Watkins.
Be careful, Watkins. He got better when he started doing less, if you know what I mean. Or stopped trying to do too much.
Yeah, he is a very talented kid out of Trenton, New Jersey. He has it up top, through the defense, off the glass. Good. He got the angle.
There's the talent you were talking about.
Yep.
That was a tough shot to make.
Under 2 minutes to play. VCU on a little bit of a run here, and Yuri Collins, count the bucket. He's another step closer to 1,000 points. Coming up on AT&T at the half, Brent Stover and the rest of the crew will break down the first half highlights and get you caught up on championship weekend around college basketball. It's one of the greatest times of the year, obviously.
Awesome. Brent Stover's alma mater, Kansas State. He's got to be happy about that.
I would think so. All right, so Yuri Collins will go to the free throw line. He's a 74% free throw shooter.
He has not played well against VCU in the last couple of times they've played, and well below his standard. And it looks to me like the look on his face, he's going to get more involved in trying to score here.
Yeah, that assessment that Evan Washburn talked about earlier. A little pressure. Baldwin able to get across the timeline. Has it knocked away. Ball is loose. Baldwin gets it back. Schreiber with a tip pass to Watkins. Jackson open for 3 from the left sideline. And it's no good. Collins with the rebound. Here he comes. And he's fouled on the floor. It's only the 5th foul, though, for VCU.
Yeah, so no harm, right? That was going to be a layup somehow. Baldwin really made a bad error there. I mean, he drove into 3 guys in the paint. There was nothing there. He took the challenge. Sometimes your ego can get in the way. You know, somebody scores on one end on you. You could try to score on the other end on them.
Collins, no look pass to the corner. Hughes for 3. It's good. The freshman coming to life.
He had a tendency to be a little wild and out of control earlier in the year. And he really played his best game yesterday.
And he's got a tip on that pass.
He's got very long arms for a 6'4".
He really does.
Look at them out there.
Well, the fact that Travis Ford's been able to keep a lot of these St. Louis kids home is huge. Here's Johns in the paint, spinning around, blocked away. Cisse with a fist pump as he blocked that away. And now we've got a tie-up, and the officials will get involved to get Hargrove and Watkins away from each other.
James Breeding stepping right in there. Right here, don't jump, now jump. Defense jumps second. Action all over the floor. Loving it.
Hey, listen, the Peppas will travel. I mean, they are rocking and rolling right now.
I would say top 5 bands in America, college pep bands. They're awesome. They had me dancing a couple of times at the Seagull Center. Love that.
You definitely need the double-headed earpieces when you're doing your open at the Seagull Center.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so St. Louis gets the basketball here. Down by just 5. They've got to feel pretty good considering how well VCU shot the basketball.
No doubt about it. And, you know, that burst at the beginning of the game where all those turnovers happened right in a row, you got to really credit St. Louis for getting their heads up, not keeping their heads down, staying with it, fighting through, and they're right in the game where we thought they might be.
And don't forget, too, they haven't turned it over since 11:34 in this first half. That's a huge thing. Well, until that was almost, that is a turnover.
There you go.
I thought that actually hit off of VCU, but they say Cisse touched it last.
Cisse agrees with you, Tom. This is a good substitution. Come in with a shooter right here. That was off his hand. Went right through his legs.
Right through his legs.
Error on the shortstop. And that would be like E6, right?
That would be E6.
Okay.
That's right. Some people wonder why. Since third base is 5. Second base is 4.
Okay. Here you take the last shot. You don't want to take a shot too soon and give an opportunity to your opponent to even get a shot.
This is a high-scoring game right now, too. Baldwin is fouled by Hughes.
Yeah, accidental trip, but you got to call it. The reason he got that foul is that Baldwin was so smart. He drove past his man, then cut into his lane, and then Hughes had to bump into it.
Well, it'll be a 1-and-1 opportunity. First time the A-10 has had the player of the year, who was also the defensive player of the year, since Stefan Lasme from Steve Lappis's UMass squad.
Yeah.
David West has also been in that category. And Pepe Sanchez.
Of Temple.
Yes, those are the 4 in the A-10.
Interesting. Well, David West was awesome for Xavier. This guy's had a good game so far, no doubt about that. He's proving all the accolades that he has been awarded with are justified.
Yep. He makes both free throws. 7-point game. One last shot for St. Louis. Zeb Jackson is on Collins. Collins pull-up jumper from 16. It's good.
You got to be kidding me. What a play by Yuri Collins. Had 2 guys on him, 1-6-4, 1-6-8, and said, the heck with that. I'm doing it anyway. Hold up. Bottom. Yuri. You talk about a competitor, Tom. Hits it with 1.6 to go.
You talked about it. He might take it in his own hands. That's our
I don't
halftime
expect
score.
him to get another 13 in the second half because he's very good at sharing the ball.
Yeah, don't forget his last game of the regular season, he was 0 for 9 from the floor. He had 11 in the quarterfinals, so this is even a step forward for him.
I think Jimerson for St. Louis, he's having a tough time getting open, and it's because VCU is so cognizant of his abilities. But he is not just a three-point shooter, although that's what his damage has been so far. He can take it to the rack.
Evan, what do you got, buddy?
Spoke to Travis Ford. He felt like their defense got them going, got them back into this game. Deflections, kind of giving VCU a taste of their own medicine, forcing some turnovers. Also feels like if they can keep VCU in the half court, they're in a much better situation. Transition is such a killer when you're playing the Rams. Injury update, fellas. Francis Okoro, he's out for this game with a right ankle injury. Tried to fight through it, but he's currently getting x-rays in the back.
Yeah, Forrester is in to start this. Here's Johns, who's spitting right to the basket and laying it in.
Well, they're going small right now. Instead of bringing Cisse in the game, Forrester is not going to guard inside, and Pickett is going to guard Johns, and that is a mismatch. Even though Pickett has great heart, he's only 6'5", Johns 6'9".
Here's Forrester heading toward the basket, finding Perkins outside. Shot clock winds, under 10. Perkins fouled on the floor. So this is interesting, too. So not saying they let that go in the first half, but even officials make adjustments after assessing the first half.
Yeah, I think so. And, whenever you officiate VCU or teams like VCU, the old games, Nolan Richardson's 40 minutes of health.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of contact, and you got to judge, if you're an official, if that contact affected the play.
Nunn steps to his left for 3. Got it to go.
That's beautiful. That's a good basketball player right there. When he moved to his left, he got his feet underneath his body, so he was not off balance.
It kind of says what Mike Rhodes told Evan earlier. They're sharing the ball well. They're finding each other. That's exactly what they did there. Forrester, tough shot, doesn't get the bounce off the backboard. Perkins thinking he's open in the corner, wanted the basketball.
Kern came over to help.
Baldwin, how about that bounce? And Yuri Collins with the rebound. Collins had 5 in the first half. He's 5 away from 1,000 for his career. Perkins.
8 assists by Yuri in the first half.
Perkins baseline jumper, no good. Forrester with the offensive rebound. Trying to go right back up, and he does.
Nice hustle by St. Louis on the offensive glass.
Keep it within reach. It's an 8-point game.
Look at inside now. Pick it on Johns.
And Nunn for 3. He got it again.
He's a player.
Well, he's got 9.
There's the trap. Now you got to chase the ball.
Jimmer sit underneath. His pass is deflected, and Kern picks it off the floor. Kern looking for Baldwin instead. Stutters his steps and kisses it off the glass.
Athlete.
Timeout called by SLU.
VCU on the run. They have spurt ability.
54-41, 17-44 to play. Here in the second half, it's a 10-2 run, Bob, for VCU to start this off.
You know, they are a spurt team. You know, they'll go 10-2 and then they won't score for 3 minutes. You know, that's because of their style. That's the way it goes. So when you're playing against them, you can't get down on yourself when they have a 10-2 spurt. And St. Louis did a great job of that in the first half, and they've got to continue to do that for the rest of the game to make this a close one.
Scoring-wise, Ace Baldwin has 13. He leads the way for VCU. Meanwhile, Pickett has 10. He leads the way for St. Louis.
The bench scoring, as we were talking about, you know, Shriver and Watkins had 15, 8 and 7 in the first half off the bench. That's doing some work.
Yeah, they haven't made any adjustments to their starting lineup as of yet. And Parker's going to bring it up for St. Louis.
We do have an issue here for St. Louis. Okoro is out for the game.
Yep. Forrester, he didn't realize he was going to be that far open. And Kern with the rebound and the foul from behind. That's going to go against Pickett.
He cannot afford fouls. He's got 2 in the game so far, but he's going to be guarding a post player. And that is not what he usually does. There's usually 2 post guys in for them. Maybe you extend your defense. Yes, that's what they're doing here. Little 2-2-1. Extend the defense. Try to take the post situation out of the game as much as you can.
You saw that note. VCU's largest lead has been 15 today. Here's Johns, has it knocked away from behind. He'll get it back, though. Leans it off the side of the rim.
Lack of Okoro. That would have been a shot block.
That's a good point. And the 3 answer is rims out by Parker.
Cisse, I thought, did a pretty good job when he was in the game, don't you think?
I thought he did too. I wonder if they feel like they can't play him for a lot of minutes, as Nunn is red hot here in the second half. It's the largest lead of the day.
2 threes and then a pull-up when they guarded him tightly.
I know we said this in the first half, but I think it's a little danger zone right now for St. Louis.
Yep.
Let's take a look at Nunn and the way he moves.
They came out strong. That was a great screen by Deloach, number 4. Created an opening for Nunn. That's good teamwork there. Nunn is a highly skilled player. Pickett, as you mentioned, 10 already. Well, we got subs coming in for St. Louis right now, but none of them are taller than 6'3".
Yeah, it's still a smaller lineup.
Yep.
Jimerson and Hughes check in for Travis Ford, who's done a wonderful job with St. Louis in his 7 years. I thought he did a good job when he was at Oklahoma State, too.
No doubt. Did a good job when he was playing, too.
Johns, middle of the floor to Deloach. Got deep, and the shot blocked by Forrester. They'll call a jump ball, and St. Louis gets it back.
Great D by the Billikens getting back, huh? Deloach's offense is trailing his defense in terms of his own development individually so far as a player. But when that offense gets going, boy, he's going to be something.
Pickett, length of the floor. Tough shot, doesn't get the angle initially, but it's able to slide off the rim.
You mentioned how he was a good player at Missouri.
Johns.
That hasn't changed. Let's take a look at Pickett going length of the floor right here. Right down the middle. The defense is not compressed, and he just goes one-on-one on Deloach. And then right here at the other end, Johns, hands all over him. Fouls all over him. That's 3 on Forrester.
And Johns connects on the free throw. He has 11 points.
Here comes Cisse. And Forrester goes out. So still only playing with 1 big man in the game. I think that's how it's going to be the rest of the way for Travis Ford. With Okoro out, he's going to, hopefully it can be better offensively for them. With a smaller lineup, maybe they get some mismatches, big on little, and take a guy off the dribble or shoot a 3.
And VCU, by the way, Bob, now has 3 scorers in double figures. 4 minutes into the second half. Johns, the most recent. Hughes, no good. Johns with the rebound. All right, so this is a 16-point lead right now. Let's see what VCU can put together offensively here to extend it.
Yeah, but we're only 5 minutes into the second half, so you don't try to do anything different.
Wow.
Keep doing what you're doing, and Nunn is doing it for sure.
He is really woken up offensively in this second half. Not that he wasn't good in the first half. And there's the steal by Nunn. Collins gets it back, and it's a 10-second violation. It doesn't reset when there's contact from the defender.
You talk about defense. Havoc is here. VCU on the run, extending the lead.
You're watching Bracket Week. Want to see highlights? How about this second half by Jayden Nunn for VCU?
2 threes, a pull-up, and a drive to the basket. He's got 10 in the second half. Look at that backup play right there. That's impossible to guard. And now he gets a screen by Deloach and makes an easy one. And then his speed was the drive on the last play that he made. 13, 10 in this half. Good player, no doubt about that.
And the other 2 times that he faced St. Louis this year, he combined for just 14 points.
Yeah, and he knows that. And he wants to change it.
But if anybody saw the St. Joseph's game this year, he had 31 in that game.
Yeah, he can go off. But, you know, they got a lot of guys who can do that, but then the next game somebody else does it. It's a true team. By the way, how much does it cost to go across those bridges we just saw?
Well, it's double digits, I know that. Okay. Here's Shriver for 3. Shriver is connected again.
Get out of here.
Well, we wondered if they can keep shooting the way they shot in the first half. They actually are taking it a step better. I mean, look at that.
Oh, my God.
For St. Louis. 4 players now for VCU in double digits. Collins has it blocked away by Nunn and saved by Johns.
I'll tell you one thing. If VCU makes the NCAA tournament, Shriver is going to be the darling of the tournament.
They want continuation. Tommy Morrissey says, the foul happened on the floor before he embarked to the basket.
I like that, embark to the basket. Is that like drive to the basket?
That's right. We're just trying to mix up the words, Bob.
Oh, yeah, they got him twice. Good call. We got a good group of officials here this one. Hughes, number 2 for St. Louis, has got long arms, and that helps him defensively because his mindset is into the D also.
He just switched. He's on Baldwin. That leaves Watkins open along the baseline. Try to reverse layup. Hargrove with the block.
Good block.
Now Collins up the floor. Pickett slips it to Hargrove. Can't finish. They've had 2 of those in this half that they were unable to finish just 2 feet from the basket.
Yeah, VCU makes you hurry, man. They make you hurry. You think somebody's coming to block it, and you know, you get it up too quickly. Shriver made a nice play there, too. He couldn't get the rebound. He tipped it out.
14 minutes left to play in the second half. The winner goes on to the finals tomorrow on CBS. Johns continues to force the action.
Great upper body strength.
Mike Rhodes says he's a joy to coach. Here's Yuri Collins. His 3 too strong off the back of the iron, and the rebound is taken by Watkins and then is fouled by Pickett. That's 3 on Pickett, so he has 3. Forrester has 3. That's what we're talking about. The winner of this game faces the winner of Dayton and Fordham tomorrow on CBS. Doing smart articles here. He's making sure he's staying hydrated. He and I and Eagle will be calling the action. Traveling violation for Baldwin.
Yeah. Baldwin is a good leader, but he's hard on his guys, I'll tell you that. And
there's Jimmy hydrating.
What a great player he was. Number 34. We were at Duke together, and he was all freshman, all-American, academic all-American, did everything.
Did you know he'd be good?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He wasn't super highly recruited. I mean, he was highly recruited, but it wasn't like he was a top 10 guy or like Banks, who we got 2 years later. But, I mean, he was unbelievable competitor.
Well, the ball was last touched by VCU, so it'll remain St. Louis basketball. Forrester still in the game with 3. Yeah, that's a problem for St. Louis. They've cooled off from beyond the arc.
Yeah, and Jimerson, 24 in blue, has not been a factor in this game, and he usually is.
Yeah, Larry Hughes, little misdirection from behind. Zeb Jackson, high stepping to the basket, no good. And the rebound is taken down by Parker.
You got to push now. You got to push.
And Parker does push, and he elevates.
Sincere Parker. And that was a sincere dunk, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Schreiber was like, okay, let me get out of the way on this one. 67-46. Parker has 2 today. He averages just under 6. Baldwin, scissor lip, no good. Watkins with the rebound. Watkins gliding to the basket, and Forrester's got number 4.
We got some action in this game, and right here, Sincere Parker. Schreiber does not want any part of this. Kind of gets out of the way. And that is how he's cupping that ball right there. Oh, man. When they recruited him and he came in, they thought he was going to be a big-time scorer off the bench. And, you know, he's still adjusting.
Yeah, he averaged 21.5 in junior college as Watkins converts the first free throw.
Well, Cisse back in, and Perkins and Yuri, so there's going to be some help here. A lot depends on what Cisse can do in terms of guarding the basket on drives, you know, by the quick players on VCU's team.
And now the second shot for Watkins. He missed. He's locked in at 8 points. And now Yuri Collins. See the foul trouble. It's big time.
Yeah,
we have Okoro under, you know, in the locker room. As Cisse's foul going up.
Deloach thought he had a block on this. I don't know if we can show it, but this was action above the rim. Deloach is a very, very good shot blocker. Right here, slow-mo. He jumps too soon on one side, and then, yeah, he gets him right across the face.
All right, this is new territory for Cisse. He's just 1 for 2 from beyond the arc. Or excuse me, from the free throw line. And he missed that one. So now 1 for 3. Johns checks back in, so does Kern.
Well, I'm sorry, Tom. Travis Ford has a decision to make here on how long he's going to leave Forrester out of the game. You know, he's got a novice guy here who's played well. He played well yesterday, too, and he makes that one. The longer that Cisse can stay in the game and keep things, you know, in control a little bit in the paint, that'll be good, and he can get Forrester in, but he can't wait too long. Pickett back in, number 3, is a great shooter. He's got to spot up on the three-point line and get free.
There's Nunn along the baseline. Cut off by Yuri Collins. Collins with his first steal. Distributes to Jimerson. Parker off the high screen. Sidewinding to the basket. Tosses it up and gets it to go. That's what they saw in junior college. Averaging almost 22.
Indeed. So, you know, Parker looks like he wants to take it to the rack. And so does Pickett. So if those two can drive it to the basket a little bit and you get some threes, there's a way to get back in the game.
There's the screen by Johns. Watkins from 16. It's good. He was left open just a little too much.
Yep. And that was good judgment by him. Usually he would take that ball to the basket. Nice pull-up.
Another double-figure scorer for VCU. Perkins gets control at the logo. Doesn't get control at the basket, though. And Parker slams it home. A two-handed jam this time. A little different personality than the last one.
VCU is extending their defense, gambling. And as a result, when St. Louis gets through it, the path to the basket is pretty clear. VCU can play. They got a bunch of athletes who play together, and they play with enthusiasm. Yeah, and you know, I don't think we can say in general, supporting your point, that this is a one-bid league. It's not a one-bid league. I mean, they've had multiple bids many
Absolutely.
times. But this year, it might be a one-bid situation. The metrics point to that.
That's right.
But I'll tell you what, I watched this team play, and I'm not sure when you start talking about, I mean, the automatic qualifiers are half the field, right? And the other half, I'm not sure there's 30-some teams better than VCU.
Here's Parker for three. It's no good. Rebound is taken down by Johns. All right, so Bob, we're zeroing in on halfway through the second half. It's a 19-point game. VCU is spreading its offense out, gets space. Does St. Louis have to change anything here?
No. I mean, St. Louis can trap like this and try to create some situations, but you're going to give up easy baskets like that when that happens. So you got to stay between your man and the basket. You know, VCU's. You know, you don't have to worry about them being patient. I mean, that's. When you say patient, VCU does not come to mind.
That's right.
I mean, they're not a patient team. They're an aggressive team, and they're just going to, and that's what they should do right now. I mean, there's no point in them slowing things down or doing anything on offense to run the clock or anything like that. They should just keep on playing the way they play, and what got them to the dance.
Well, Watkins makes the first free throw. He has 11 points off the bench.
I really like his development, don't you? I mean, he has really gotten better.
Well, I think the staff thinks if he can continue to up his game defensively, then he could be a star in this league.
I agree. He has developed nicely.
Well, you know what they say, Bob? What Trenton makes, the world takes.
I've never heard that.
That's on a bridge. Yeah.
Is that on the bridge?
Yeah. 9:50 to play here in the second half. Perkins draws the foul. It'll go to the free throw line. I have to admit, every time he goes to the floor, I do grimace a little bit because of all the leg injuries he's had the last couple of years.
Yeah, boy, that one year he was out the entire year, remember?
And Johns will be called for that foul.
What Travis is doing now is he's running like two cuts and then clearing an area and trying to drive the ball to the basket and get fouls and score while the clock is stopped. That's how you can get back into the game.
Perkins from the free throw line. Converts the first one, 81% from the free throw line. And a part of that is, too, I would think, is his approach to maybe score early in the shot clock, so he extends this a little bit more, too.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. If you can. Easier said than done.
Second shot for Perkins. It's good. They need that to make it a closer game. They're down 19. Little pressure.
Look for the trap at the 10-second line. Baldwin was smart. You never cross when there's pressure. You never cross near the sideline. That's where you get trapped and you get trouble. You cross in the middle of the floor if you can.
Baldwin with a pass fake. Gets it out for Watkins for three. No good. And Johns with the rebound. And he's fouled on the floor.
But Cisse grabbed him.
That's his third. So foul trouble is being sprinkled all around the big men for St. Louis.
Yeah. And that was just experience versus inexperience right there.
Now here's another problem for St. Louis. Not to pile on the problems, but VCU is going to shoot the rest of the half.
Yeah.
From the free throw line.
Yeah. And right now they are super small. You got Hargrove as the second biggest guy at 6'5" in the game. So they are really, really a small team. So what do you do with a small team, right? You pressure, and you run like crazy, and you take advantage of whoever Johns might be guarding on the perimeter, although Johns moves his feet pretty good for a big.
Watkins with that rebound. What do you got, Evan?
I was just going to say, guys, with the size disparity right now, and you're seeing it, for VCU, it's all about the paint. They say we want to assault the paint every game that leads to plays like that.
Well, that's it. It went in and then out for an open three.
Well, Yuri Collins was trying to guard Johns in the paint. That's not going to work.
How about the shooting for VCU in this ball game? Hargrove, free path to the basket. He'll lay it in. Lead is up to 20 for VCU.
You know, right now, Mike Rhodes is only going with one post player also. I mean, usually DeLoach is in there with Johns.
Johns to Watkins, gets his feet set for another three attempt. Oh! How about how high in the air Kern got? And now Watkins with the steal.
Now be smart. He didn't used to be smart in that kind of situation. He would just go.
VCU fans, I think they're sensing something right now, Bob.
Oh, yeah.
Baldwin down low to Nunn.
Nice patience there.
8 on the shot clock. Baldwin has it blocked away by Hargrove. 75-55, 7:58 to play here in the second half. So far, it's VCU in total control in the second half. And you see all the double-figure scores. I mean, that's balance.
Oh, man, it doesn't get more balanced than that. And that's with 8 minutes to go in the game.
You know, when they faced St. Louis on the 28th of February, they had 6 players who had 10 points or more. They won both games against St. Louis in the regular season, but they scored 73 and 79 points in those games.
Yep.
And there's about 8 minutes left in this one, and they have 75. Just their field goal percentage.
Give me a little lesson on #1 seeds winning this tournament.
All right, so yeah, VCU is the #1 seed. They won the regular season title. Only one of the last 8 regular season champions, and that doesn't include Dayton during the COVID year, have won the title. That's how hard it is to win these conference tournaments.
Yep. That's interesting. And this year it's a little different here because they get a rest between days on Friday. Friday was a closed day. So I know some of the coaches don't like that, but I think, you know, it's a pretty good idea.
Would you have liked it?
Yeah, I would. You know, you guys extending energy and you get 24 extra hours of rest. Pretty good.
Well, Kearns missed the three-pointer. Hargrove can't corral the pass from Yuri Collins. It goes out of bounds.
Yuri Collins. Forrester on the bench with 4. Serious faces on the sideline in the blue jerseys.
Yeah, they had very high expectations, St. Louis did, when this season began. And listen, there's nothing to sneeze about when you win 20 games.
Oh, yeah. I did their 3rd game of the year. They were 2-0, and they played Memphis, and Memphis was really good. And Kendrick Davis is a fantastic guard, and they beat Memphis.
Ace Baldwin off the high screen, heading to the basket, blocked away by Hughes. Baldwin gets it back. Shot clock does not reset. And a timeout called by VCU.
Yeah, I think Coach Rhodes called that because timeouts are not part of the vocabulary for Ace Baldwin.
77-55. Come on back. All right, let's see how smart Bob Wenzel is. Let's revisit your keys to the game.
Jimerson scoring was vital, and it didn't happen, and that's why they're down so much. And the pressure, it's always there for VCU. They've got 9 steals in this game and forced 13 turnovers, and a lot of those steals turned into layups and dunks. So this has been typical VCU at their best.
Yeah, Mike Rhodes, if you've spent any time with him, the entire season has talked about just the high level of a mental approach every day. Since January 1st, we have pushed that to our players. With 5 on the shot clock, here's Watkins to Deloach, just throws it up, and he's fouled. Hargrove's going to get that foul. Wow, how about that for a bailout?
You know, it's funny because they play so well together. We just showed you that graphic where it's such balanced scoring. And, you know, everybody plays defense. Everybody gets after it. Everybody gets steals. And they're fun to watch.
Deloach to the line. Makes the first one. Let's check in with Evan.
Yeah, Phyllis, they describe it as the Army approach, where it's all hands on deck and you play to exhaustion on both ends, knowing that somebody's there to get your back, slide in, you go out and go back in. So it's kind of buy in from day one and know that's going to be the deal.
Yeah.
And Mike Rhodes, Tom, you mentioned it. He told us in 28 years coaching, so includes time as an assistant, this is the most enjoyable team he's had in his career.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, Evan, and we've all seen it, if you've gone any of their practices or shoot-arounds, he has a good time. It's not only coaching, but he's running around with these guys as well. And it also goes to the graduate students that are part of their staff. They're part of that 5-on-5 scout team, and they take it seriously, but they have fun, too.
Absolutely.
Watkins to Deloach.
That's nice pass.
That's all part of it.
Hey, what has Watkins shown us? He's shown us threes. He's shown us drives. He's shown us passes, beautiful passes. Man, I'm telling you, he is a serious player.
Forrester, wide open, couldn't get it to go the first time, and got it the second time. And about Watkins, too. You know, Mike Rhodes said it was a really difficult decision to sit him down and say, listen, you're not starting anymore. We want to rely on Nick Kern's defense, and we're going to let you sit and watch a little bit. and then we're going to put you in. And it took a little bit for him to get going. He was averaging 7 points per game after that. But now he's bought into it. You can see the benefits of it even in a game like today.
No doubt. I'm thinking about St. Louis and the Okoro injury in the first half. Now, he's 6'10". He's a terrific shot blocker. You know, the fact that they had to coach around his absence really was a big factor in this game, too.
Yeah.
Because now you got Forrester, who's normally a guy who's going to play half the game. But now you got Cisse, who's a novice player, doesn't play that much, and you got to coach around that. You got to go with small lineup. Now, who's matching up with Johns? You know, I mean, it's his absence was a big factor in this game for the St. Louis approach.
I would agree. Defensively, on so many levels.
Yeah, and so you feel bad when a guy gets injured like that, and you know, he also missed the second VCU game. He was sick, illness, so he didn't play in that game either, and they played a little closer than this one.
No substitutions. Deloach checks out. He has 4 fouls for VCU. Jimerson checks out. Parker checks out. Hughes on the line for 3. This is his 3rd. He's made the first 2, and he makes all 3.
Deloach has 39 blocks coming into this game. Pretty good. Okoro had 45 for St. Louis.
There you have it, right?
Yep.
Just a presence in the middle on some of those layups, too.
Yeah, no doubt.
Heading toward the 5-minute mark here in the second half. VCU try to head to the Atlantic 10 championship. Shriver for 3, way downtown. No good. Ball tipped around. Collins with the rebound. Collins heading toward the basket. Fadeaway jumper. It's good. He climbs close to 1,000. I know that isn't really anything he's focusing on, but he's 3 away from 1,000.
There's no give up in that kid.
Nunn, free pass for the back. Oh, man. If you want an exclamation point at 4:32, there it is. That lifted everybody that's wearing black and gold up off their feet. Hughes up top for 3. That's good. Boy, I tell you what, there is a ceiling for this kid that he's not reached.
Yep.
And Yuri Collins just picked up his 10th career or 10th game assist. It's the 19th time this season he's had 10 assists or more.
Unbelievable. He is so far in front of the competition for that. Bob Cousy lists for best point guard.
Yeah. Ace Baldwin says, oh, I can do it too. That's 6 for him. 3:42 to play. Collins under the basket. Tough layup attempt, and he'll go to the free throw line.
VCU is exciting. Jayden Nunn can leap. Watch him protect himself here. He's going to fall. Holds on to the rim.
Yeah, VCU, you see there, 5 players with 10 points or more. As Bob said, there's not an explosive guy, just a balanced guy. And they've had 33 field goals made today. And at this point in the year, you wonder, well, when did they do that last? Well, it's the most they've ever had.
Yeah.
As far as the season goes.
Yeah, crazy. And at the most opportune time. You want to play your best in the conference tournaments. You know, we focus so much on the NCAA tournament, and rightfully so, but there's a lot more players playing in conference tournaments than there are playing in the NCAA tournament, and it's big stuff for all of these kids.
Collins converts the first free throw. Yuri Collins with 10 assists today. He has 878 assists for his career. Missed the second free throw. When you think about that, I mean, that's a lot. It's a generational thing, as we said. Bobby Hurley had 1,076 assists. 10-second violation. I mean, that'll never be broken.
I don't think so.
Well, maybe in 5 years, but not in 4 years.
He was playing with some guys who could score, too.
Well, that's true.
I saw a stat on him. And you're right. He was such a great passer and a great distributor. And Ace is, I think, coming out right now. Talk about a great leader for this team. Woo!
Yeah, 13 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. I think he wants to stay in. Shriver checks out. Josh Banks is in for the first time today. He got a lot of run earlier this season. Collins looking in. Collins heading to the basket. Collins off the glass, and there's 1,000 points. He gets 10 for the game. And the steal by Pickett and the lay-in. Timeout called by VCU.
Yeah, Mike doesn't like that. Coach Rhodes does not like that one bit.
86-70. Coming up next, we're right back here at the Barclays Center for the second A-10 semifinal as Fordham faces Dayton right here on CBS Sports Network. And all right, so here's the thing. If you have a 500-mile radius and you are a Fordham graduate, the expectation is you live within a 500-mile radius. The expectation is you need to be here for what they're calling Cabo North.
Cabo North,
because they're starting spring break. And a lot of kids are going to.
So they're weighing whether to go to Barclays Center or to the beaches of Cabo.
I think it's a really easy decision. This is a beautiful.
Oh, Barclays, no doubt. I wonder if Denzel Washington is going to be here. He's a Fordham guy.
I have not checked in with him. We could have asked PJ Carlesimo to ask him if he was going to be.
Well, wasn't there a story? Somebody asked PJ, maybe it was you, if Denzel, was a good player or not, and he said he chose the right profession.
And he also followed it up by saying he is the best Academy Award winner I've ever coached. Evan, what do you got, buddy?
Well, I was just curious of the two of you if you would trade a day at the Barclays for the beach. I know Tom's answer because my man likes the sun.
I do like the sun.
He's a spring breaker to his core. Not sure about Coach Wenzel, though.
I don't know. I live at the beach, so, I think I'd choose Barclays. I'm at the beach all the time.
Balls in and out. We do love us some beach. Yeah. I mean, it's obvious, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what, you wonder about the NIT for St. Louis, right? 12-6, 21-11. So when you look at those guys on the bench, there's always some sad faces and, the uncertainty of whether they're going to play anymore, especially guys who don't have eligibility left kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, and it is harder to get into the NIT. We all know that because if you win your regular season title, you go to the NIT automatically if you don't win your conference tournament title.
Exactly.
Ball's out of bounds. It's going to be VCU basketball. You can see it on the faces of the guys from the Billikens. I think you said that there's just not enough time left in this game, down 17.
Yeah. It's an interesting dynamic at the end of seasons. It's way different than during the course of the regular season. Look at how he came to the ball.
He got it to Johns. Johns couldn't finish, but Nunn does. That was a gentle slam.
Credit Kern. That was a steal. And he came out of nowhere to keep that ball in play for his team. Take a look. Watch him come straight up. That's going to be a steal by Jimerson. Wow. What a play. Johns, of course, trying to be soft about laying it in, and Kern with that 45-inch vertical jump.
Pickett gets two. There's the first.
You're talking about Fordham coming up next, obviously, against Dayton, and what a job Keith Ergo has done at Fordham.
Tremendous.
Wow. He was coach of the year in the league this year.
Yeah, it began with Kyle Neptune last year by even bringing Keith on. But he's really done a fantastic job.
Yeah.
2:28 to play. Ball was deflected and stolen by Pickett, who's got a couple steals here. And he lays it in. He's got 18 points. Watkins. Perkins tried to steal it. Watkins trying to get everybody off their feet and leapt into the air. Couldn't convert, though.
It's really not what you want.
Want to bring it out and spread it out a little bit more?
Absolutely. Win it at the foul line.
Yep.
Keep the ball in the hands of your best. Instead, it's a three, so it's a 5-point swing.
Yep. Yeah, so now it's 89-76. So we've seen stranger things. They do have to start fouling, obviously, to extend the life of this game.
Right, and that's what you want if you're VCU. Get the ball in Nunn's hand or Baldwin's hands. See, right now, Baldwin is talking to Watkins about that last play. And see, he's pointing to him. He's educating him about the end game.
I will say that the Atlantic 10 this year has been known for its guards, and it's been that way the last few years. But guys like Baldwin, Yuri Collins, Foster, lawyer for Davidson, not afraid to sort of be the coaches on the floor.
Yeah, that's the best way for it to be.
Quisenberry from Fordham's the same way.
Indeed.
And I think Malachi Smith, despite the injuries, will be that way as the years go on.
Well, Dayton with Malachi Smith is different than Dayton without him, that's for sure. They're way better with him.
Here's Collins, bounce pass to Jimerson, just couldn't connect. And Watkins.
See if he learned anything.
Well, he brought it out.
He did.
Fans for VCU starting to get on their feet with 1:20 to play and a chance to go to the Atlantic 10 championship game. They've made the title game in 6 of the last 9 years. 1 in 5, though, in those title games. They've got a lot to prove. Baldwin for 3. It's an air ball. And Johns tried to get it before it went out of bounds.
Johns, do not get hurt. Do not crash into those guys with the cameras on the end line.
Yeah.
You know, there are places designated for people in the media who are taking photographs of the game, and it's usually right along the baseline.
Yuri Collins and 1. He'll go to the free throw line.
Game's not over, gents.
Yeah, they're kind of sneaking their way back within reach here.
Well, from VCU's standpoint, I mean, you want to play better defense. At this point, you don't want to be gambling. You stay in front of your man. Make them take contested shots.
Collins missed that one on purpose. And Kern drops it out of bounds. It'll be St. Louis basketball. It is really early to think that they would miss that on purpose.
What a smart play.
Smart guy.
And he did it immediately. They weren't ready for it.
They get it into Forrester. Right back to Collins. Collins splits the defense, goes up, shot blocked from behind by Johns, saved by Ace Baldwin.
Somebody's down. Watkins is down. Look at the sportsmanship here. Love it. Now Yuri Collins gets his shot blocked right here, and Watkins falls on top of him and then hurts himself, and Yuri ends up helping him up off of the ground. Ooh, that hurts.
Boy, that's a great look right there.
Wow.
A great look of pain, but that's a great look. All right, so none to the free throw line. He is 18. Perfect from the line today. Uh-oh. Bob Wenzel said that, everybody.
Announcer's curse.
So back to the line.
Jayden got a lot of his points at the start of the second half, where he went through in a few minutes, made 2 threes, a pull-up, and a layup. So he had 10 points like in the first 3 minutes of the half.
No good. Forrester with the rebound. Here comes Collins. Leaves it for Pickett. Stripped away for a moment by Nunn. Pickett gets it back. Blocked from behind.
Is that Watkins?
I think it was. Yeah. That's 9 blocks for VCU. Ace Baldwin's going to dribble it out. They do have to get rid of the basketball one more time.
Yesterday, St. Louis had 26 assists, most ever in the A-10 tournament. Not so much today, though. VCU had their A game today.
Yes, they did. 4 seconds left. They let it run down. The final 4 seconds on the clock. Remember, VCU, one of 13 programs to make 9 of the last 11 NCAA tournaments. They're a step closer to doing it again as they score a season-high 90 points and knock off St. Louis 90-78. They're going back to the Atlantic 10 title game for the 7th time in the last 10 years. And they did it in somewhat of a dominant way this afternoon.
The defense was there. The balance on offense was awesome to watch. Bench players did their job, and they beat a St. Louis team that is a very good team. Was hot last night. And unfortunately for Travis Ford, the injury to Okoro threw a wrench in his plans for an upset.
All right, so for the top 4 seeds, chalk continues as VCU, the number 1 seed, moves on. Let's check in with Evan Washburn. Oh, hold on, we'll get to him in a second. So VCU wins it 90-78. And they'll await either Dayton or Fordham. Now let's check in with Evan.
I was really proud of our offensive efficiency. We shared the ball today. We got downhill, and we executed plays, especially in the second half. They were connected. We were connected. Just really proud of them. We played defense in the second half our way until the end there. We got a little lackadaisical. They didn't give up threes. We guarded the ball. They're such a talented team. They're going to make plays, but we want to, our grit's got to show up on the defensive end. It did in the second half.
8 straight wins. You're getting ready for a championship opportunity. How would you best describe the confidence this team's playing with right now?
Evan, we've talked about it. Eric Maynor always says it. Win the day, man. All we care about is win the day. Yesterday on our day off, win the practice, win the scouting report, win the film. Today, let's win the game. We'll do the same thing for tomorrow. One day at a time. That's all we can control. It's the truth.
Congrats. See you tomorrow.
Thanks so much.